ready for bed at a regular time is one of the most important habits you can learn.
Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters! Jason was my son, and today is his birthday.
Oh, Lori, scared another one away.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Sorry, Jack. Chucky's back.
We are counselors at Hackett's Quarry Summer Camp. There is a swarm of bears.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
No! Glenn! Somebody help me, please!
Most people are so ungrateful to be alive, but not you.
It's showtime.
Hello, and welcome back to another fabulous and wonderful episode of the Scream Stream. We are now on episode 17. And I'm going to be honest, guys, episode 17 is going to be hot garbage. Just hot. Because this movie absolutely 100% sucks. And that's saying a lot coming from me, because I don't think a lot of horror movies suck. Like, I've seen some bad horror movies. I've seen so bad that they're good horror movies, and then I just seen some just... yeah, you know, kind of like, yeah, like they're not good, but yeah, like you've seen it done better. But this is got to be the worst fucking horror movie I have ever seen. And I've seen some bad ones. Don't get me wrong. I've seen some bad ones now. Like one of my favorite bad horror movies. Like it wasn't even so bad it was good. It was just bad. It was just bad. Like it was badly written, badly directed, badly done with the audio. I really can't remember the name of this movie, but I remember picking it up from Redbox. And straight up was like, oh God, what was it, like an hour into the movie or something? Me and my buddy are watching it. And as they're just having a casual conversation, these two actors are just normal conversation, just the audio cuts out right in the middle of it. And we thought it was like on our end, like the television or a DVD player. Nope. It was just part of the movie. Apparently they couldn't afford audio. So the audio was cut out. So yeah, I've seen some bad movies, but this movie, hands down, has got to be the absolute worst because it bored me, it insulted me, and it frankly just was just, oh God. It's Jeepers Creepers Reborn, everybody. It's just Jeepers Creepers Reborn. It's a bad movie. Alright, let me get like the biggest thing out the way first about this movie is the Victor Salivar, or whatever the fuck, however you pronounce his name. I know he's not very favorable. I can understand why. He's a disgusting motherfucker, I'm not gonna lie, especially being convicted for what he was convicted for. And I can understand why people want to take a step back away from Jeepers Creepers, especially the original ones, because they don't want any kind of ties from Victor's. And I can understand that. And I can support that. I can get behind that. You know, you want to distance yourself away from especially negative press in that aspect, especially for what he has done. Now, I understand, like I said, I get it, but they went about this the wrong fucking way. In so many ways, it's not even funny. So this movie was directed, unfortunately, around the coronavirus. So that explains a lot, if that makes any sense. And as I delve into the movie, I'll go more and more to why it makes more sense. But yes, this movie was filmed during COVID, during quarantine. So there's a lot of bad CGI. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm talking about terrible, terrible CGI, because a lot of the actors weren't even on set together. So they had to CGI everybody in a scene. And it was just, it's god-awful. Like, I've seen better movies from my college peers in 2013-14 than I did in a 2022 movie. And that's saying something. This was a fucking... Did this movie come out in theaters? I can't remember. I really can't remember if it did. But the point is, How can you have this? But who the fuck okayed this? Like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna rip this movie a new asshole, but I'm gonna start off with the CGI on this one. Who the fuck okayed this? Like, seriously, who looked at that final project and went, oh yeah, this? Fantastic. Love it. No one will suspect that this is an entire green screen. Nobody will see this shit coming. Like, I've seen better CGI in PlayStation graphics. Like, seriously, go back to PlayStation 2 era and think about some of those cutscenes, alright? Better CGI than this fucking movie. Like, oh my god. Like, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I knew this movie was gonna be bad walking into this. Like, I knew it was gonna be bad. I seen still shots. I seen people review it. So I knew it was gonna be bad. But my buddy Bidwell convinced me to watch this movie. He was just like, dude, it's bad. It's like garbage. Like hot garbage set on fire. Take a piss on it. It's bad. I'm like, it can't be that bad. Like, I know it's bad. But it's Jeepers Creepers. Like, how badly can they fuck it up? The green screen still shot should have told me all of the information I need to know, but I still sat down and watched this fucking movie. So besides the bad CGI, the bad green screen effects, let's talk about the fucking creeper outfit for a minute, because I'm gonna be honest, that's just not bad. It's not just bad. It's hideously bad. It is just nasty as fuck. Like, not even like cool nasty as fuck. Like, it's like they try to add too much detail to his face and just basically made it look like he had a bunch of teeth on his face. Oh god, what's the name of that alien from Doctor Who with Jodie Whittaker in it? They got like blue faces and they had teeth all over their face. He looked like that. He looked like a Doctor Who alien creature. He didn't even look like Creeper. Now, again, I know Victor played the creeper. I'm not talking about his mannerisms. I'm talking about just his look. Granted, though, the mannerism, we'll get into that in a minute. But, like I said, guys, let's throw out the Victor thing. I know it was a big deal. Trust me, I had my input on that. It disgustes me. But let's just throw him out. Let's just look at the movie as Jeepers Creepers itself as a whole. All right? Let's not worry about fucking Victor and all his bullshit. Let's not let this shitty motherfucker ruin at least 2 good movies, okay? Like, I'm gonna be honest. The first 2 movies were good. Third movie, This movie makes the third movie look like the fucking holy grail of all Jeepers Creepers movies. But I digress, and I'll get there in a minute. But his outfit, it's bad. Like I said, too much detail on the face. You could clearly tell that it's a mask. Like, I know they're saying a lot, but if you actually look back at the Creeper's original design and his original look from the original movie, I know he's saying original a lot, but bear with me. It's very smooth, very kind of skin-like, alien-like in some aspect. Not like gooey or anything, but it's very smooth, very soft. Feels like flesh. It looks like flesh. It feels very fleshy. Doesn't feel like a mask. It doesn't feel like some guy just grabbed the mask, put it on, and said, I'm going to scare the shit out of people. No, he feels like an actual creature that just, to be honest, I don't even know where the fucking creeper comes from. I don't think it's ever explained in any of the movies where exactly he comes from. Like, we get a little tidbit in Jeepers Creepers 3, but we as the audience never get to know. But whether he comes from the aliens in the sky or from some kind of demonic creatures below, I don't know. But the point is, he looks real. He looks like he came out wherever the fuck he came out of and straight up look like a scary motherfucker. This guy in the Reborn movie looks terrible. He literally looks like he just grabbed a fucking mask off the shelf and went to go trick-or-treating or some bullshit. And I know they tried to kind of emulate in some aspects his original costume design, by the way. The black shirt with the black jacket and the hat and shit. And that was one of my favorite things about Jeepers Creepers, is his design and costume-wise. It's very simple, very elegant, black, blends in with the darkness. You know, you can't really see him coming, but you see that shape. And that shape in some aspect is kind of iconic, you know, the hat, the black jacket and the stuff. Because, God, which one was it? Poltergeist 2? was the one with the reverend name. I can't remember if that was 2 or 3. But he's got, a certain look about him in shadow form. So when you see Jeepers Creepers' shadow, you know right off the bat that's him. Even though you can't see his details, you can see that trench coat, you can see the hat, and identify him like you can the dude from Poltergeist 2 or 3. I can't remember which one it is. But the point is, you can identify him by his shadow. In this movie, you really can't. Like, hell, there's not even like a wisp of hair. And that's the thing that disappoints me. They cut out the wisp of hair? That was the thing that made him very human-like, if that makes any sense. Especially when they took his fucking hat off. I can't remember if that was before or after they tried to stab him in the head. But they took away some elements that made him kind of human-like. If that makes any fucking sense, especially coming from a creature of, with like bat-like creature, not bat-like creature, but bat wings and shit. He's very human-like. And they tried to do some justice to it by still keeping a lot of the human-like features and shit. But the fucking CGI bat wings and the fact that they did too much detail on the mask's face, it just throws off the entire look of the creeper. And it's not my creeper, bro. Hashtag not my creature. I'm gonna be honest. That's literally how I feel about it. Like, I looked at, and I'm about to jump ahead of myself about the fucking mannerisms of this motherfucker. But I can't say with the design-wise, they did try to keep it, even though they're saying it's not canon, the original 3 are not canon movies anymore, there's a whole reboot with throwing out the originals and blah, blah, blah. But they did try to keep somewhat of his outfit, design-wise, from the first 2 movies, not the 3rd movie, because the 3rd movie he had that red shirt on, which, I could give or take that look, to be honest. Like, it's not as cool, because of the fact that a lot of his attacks happen in broad daylight in Jeepers Creepers 3. But I'm more of a fan of his original look from the first movie with the black shirt, black trench coat, and all that shit. But one of the things that bugs me about the outfit is, in the original movies, we never saw how he got his outfit, or where he came from, or where he got his personalized license plate. Which, by the way, I want to know that myself. Where the fuck did this guy get a personalized license plate called Be Eating You? Like, seriously, like, I would have loved to be there for that phone call and pick up. Just ring, ring. Hello, license plate office. How can I help you? Yes, can I get a custom-made license plate? Yeah, sure. What do you want? Be eating you. Oh, that's funny. Be beating you. No. Be eating you. All right, can you come pick it up at noon on a Thursday? I'll be there that fucking Thursday. Fucking Jeepers Creepers comes in his old jalopy vehicle. Just walks in. License plate. Like, seriously, though, that's one of those questions that I'm never going to answer to, but I do fantasize from time to time what it would be like for Jeepers Creepers to walk into a license plate office and get this customized license plate. But in Reborn, though, the way he gets his license, not the license plate, the way he gets his vehicle, they don't really explain that either, which I'm happy about that. They don't explain how they got his vehicle. Granted, I'm kind of pissed what they did to the vehicle, but we'll get there when we get there. But with his costume, though, we didn't know in the original one how he got it, because it was not important. It really was not important where he got his outfit or where he got this fucking personal license plate. It didn't matter. But for some stupid-ass reason in this movie, they gotta show us where he got his outfit from. And it's a fucking scarecrow. Like, the most generic, basic thing you can find is a fucking scarecrow. And I'm just like, okay, you gonna do my boy dirty like that? Alright. I'm gonna be honest, guys, I like Jeepers Creepers. He was one of my favorite kind of movie villains of the time, especially in the early 2000s. Of course, we had Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and all that shit. But something about Jeepers Creepers was very fucking creepy because of his human-like features and the fact that he killed just to replenish his own body. Like, he had a purpose and a meaning, and if you were in his way and tried to stop him, you died. He didn't really, need you for anything, but you got in his way, you died. To get to what he wanted, and then he took whatever he wanted from them, and most of the time, they ended up dying from that shit. That shit's scary. And the fact that he literally kills people to eat their organs, their eyeballs, their brains, whatever. just to replenish himself so he can continue on eating people to replenish himself. Like, it's like a weird vicious cycle. And I've always been fascinated by creatures like that, you know, like the aliens from, you know, the alien movies. You know, the whole premise of them is literally they're born, they reproduce, they make more, they reproduce, they make more, and so on and so forth. And it carries on through the food chain. But in this movie, his motivations make no fucking sense whatsoever. They took away the creepy aspect of him and basically tried to make him a superficial killer. If that makes any fucking sense. And what I mean by superficial killers, you don't get it. I mean, he's just killing to be killing. Like, there's literally a scene in this movie that it's rather fucking obvious, Robert, that fucking Jeepers Creepers set this shit up just to kill somebody and walk the fuck away. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that this whole situation, they just made him into a basic generic slasher killer with no motivation whatsoever. And that is very disappointing to me. That is very, very disappointing to me because Creeper had motivations in the original ones. And again, I get it. They want to step away from the original ones. But you can't make him a silent killer, man. You can't make him a silent killer. Like, that's like making Chucky a silent killer. You can't do that. Like, hell, they didn't even do that to him. They didn't do him that dirty in the reboot. Granted, the reboot wasn't that great, but they had Mark Hamill do the voice, so I can't be too mad about that. But in this one, they just did him so dirty with his just random killing. And the sad part is they weren't even good kills. They weren't even good kills. Like, I could forgive them slightly, maybe by 2%, if they were good fucking kills. And they weren't. And that's what makes me even more upset, is the fact that not only is he just killing just to be killing, but he is killing lame-like. Very lame, like generic, like Michael has better kills. And Michael don't do much but stab people. It's not until later on in his movie career he started, you know, displaying them and shit. I mean, yeah, you had the whole thing with the Judas Tombstone and, you know, Lori finding all her friends and shit. You got a crave like that. But Jeepers Creepers, you know, he used to do some cool shit. Like, let's go back to the original film where Justin Long's character falls into the hole, and we see the, oh God, what's the word I'm looking for? Magite, starts with an M. It's like a fancy word for like a collage of fucking dead bodies all over the wall. That's art. Disgusting art, but that's art, and that's what Jeepers Creepers did. He made art, he killed to replenish his bodies, and that was him. That was him being his coolest and his badassery. This Jeepers Creeper, I don't even know him. Like, I literally want to be that person from, man, Mean Girls, just, he doesn't even go here. Like, because he doesn't. He doesn't. I don't know who this movie was made for, but it wasn't made for me. It wasn't made for any kind of horror fan. It wasn't made for any kind of Jeepers Creepers fans. I don't know who the fuck this motherfucker is who made this movie, but you, sir, made a mistake. I don't say that very much, but I will say you made a mistake on this movie. I haven't even gotten to the guy who directed this new one yet because I'm too busy chastising him over all the bullshit before we even get to the movie. But I'm speaking facts here. We all agree that this movie's very fucking bad. But anyway, besides his mannerisms that make no fucking sense, they make a joke out of him. Like, they do, and I'll dive more into that when I get into the movie, but they make a fucking joke out of him and everything he stood for, and it's disgusting. It's disgusting. It hurts. Well, hang on. It's disgusting. Just disgusting. I think that's how that meme goes. But the point is, it's just bad. The guy who directed this, unfortunately, this is his American debut, so I think his name is like Timon Vosloo, I think. Again, guys, I'm dyslexic. I'm not too familiar on his name in general. But Tomo, yeah. American debut, not that great, man. Like, you do not give me high hopes on any kind of future films you might make if this is literally your debut. Like, you fucked up somewhere. You got the short end of the stick and you fucked up. Like, I get COVID happened. and quarantine had a lot of people in some tight situations, but if you knew the CGI was going to be that bad, man, you should have pulled the plug. You should have pulled the plug before it even got started. You should have stopped yourself and went, this may not be a good idea. You should have waited until after, maybe in 2024, maybe 2025, you could release the movie. And maybe people might have liked it then. But this movie, as it stands now in 2022, now 2023, it's a bad movie. Really couldn't find much of any kind of filmography any of these actors really did, except for one person. And I'll get to her when I get to her. But everybody else, even the director, I don't know any of their work. I couldn't find anything on them. But granted, I'm going to be honest, I didn't dig too much into this because I want to spend more time ripping on just how bad the creeper is on this movie than anything else. Because the actors weren't that bad. They weren't that good, but they weren't that bad. Like, you could tell they just had bad direction and stuff, but they are giving them their all. So I do give them credibility where it's due. The acting was not that bad. Again, not that good either, but not that bad. There were some lines that were delivered that I feel like personally could have been done better. I feel like a lot of it, though, is just bad writing, and you could be the damnedest good actress ever, or actor, whatever. If the writing's bad, the writing's fucking bad. But we have Sidney Craven playing Lane, Imran, I-M-R-A-N, Imran Adams. Again, guys, my bad if I'm saying your name wrong. He plays Chase. We have Brooke, who plays Stu. I love this name. The chick who plays Carrie, her first name's named Ocean. I love that. Her name is Ocean. But she plays Carrie. You have Matt Barkley, who plays Jamie. Alexandra Halsall, who plays Michael. The guy who plays the creeper is... Oh, God, I can't even say his first name. It's like Jarreau. I feel so bad that I can't say half these motherfuckers' names, to be perfectly honest. This is embarrassing, guys. It really is. But I just don't want to fuck up their name and, like, missay it and piss people off and shit. But his last name is Benjamin. But he plays the creeper. Again, I'm sure he's a fine actor, but the direction they gave him in this movie was just terrible. Just most of the time, they're just like, all right, sniff. Now snarl. Sniff again. Now snarl once more. Now do this weird whistle thing. Like, I'm not even joking. Jodie McMullen plays Madame Carnage. Georgia Goodman plays Lady Manila. Gabriel Fletcher plays Sam. And then the creme de la creme, the reason why I should have known this movie was going to be bad, and it's called Dee Wallace. Dee Wallace. Oh, guys. So my buddy Bidwell made a joke to me several months ago when we watched this fan-made Friday the 13th movie. Oh, God, I can't remember the name of the movie, but we were watching it, and Dee Wallace was in the movie. He made a comment about the Dee Wallace curse. And I was like, what the hell is the Dee Wallace curse? Apparently, every movie he's ever seen that had Dee Wallace in it was just a bad movie. I'm like, that's not true. That can't be true. I've seen about 3 movies since then with Dee Wallace in it, and I can concur. They're very bad movies. So the Dee Wallace curse is a real thing, guys. I'm starting to believe this. But she plays, Mary. And Gary Grams plays Randall. I don't know why I said Roland right there. Randall, they're a couple from the beginning of the movie, basically. But yeah, a lot of these actors, I don't really know all that very well, except Dee Wallace. And yet again, the Dee Wallace curse just strikes again. The Dee Wallace curse strikes again. But here's a little fun fact about the original origins, though, of Jeepers Creepers. Is it was originally based off an actual crime that happened back in 1990 in Michigan. I don't know where he got the idea for Florida at, Victor. But It originally happened in Michigan. It was a guy named Dennis DePue. He killed his wife, and basically the only real aspect of the crime that they used for the movie is the fact that he killed his wife, and he did throw her down a hole behind a school building, and somebody witnessed it, and he did chase them and try to get them off the road before he dipped out. That's the only actual thing that really happened back in 1990. Everything else about the creature and the piles and piles of bodies and shit, yeah, none of that's actually real. The only real thing is literally the body thing, about dropping the body off. Oh, something else I want to grab about. I don't know why they decided to change the origin of Jeepers Creepers from Florida to Louisiana, but I'm going to be honest, we don't want it. We don't want it. I'm from Louisiana myself, born and raised there, 12 and a half years. That's why I sound a little funny, because I'm from the deep south, and then I live in Georgia, which is just the south, so I have like a deep south, southern south, weird accent, I know. But we had things like Hatchet, with Victor Crowley, and we had the Skeleton Key. We'll keep that shit. We'll keep that fun, great, entertaining type movies. Y'all can keep fucking Jeepers Creepers. We don't want it. We don't like it. We don't want any association, okay? Like, I feel sorry for Jacksonville, Louisiana, where this movie is supposed to take place. I feel so sorry. I'm not from Jacksonville. I'm originally from Baton Rouge. But, yeah, no, I feel bad for Jacksonville for, unfortunately, being tied into Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Like, I feel really bad for Jacksonville. Like, I just want to call him up and be like, Jacksonville, you got the piss out of that stick. You really did. But let's go ahead and dive straight into this mega trashy, garbage-like movie that I really wish I watched this movie twice. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I watched this movie twice. I just gave you the list of names for all the characters, and I couldn't tell you jack shit about half these characters because I didn't care for half these characters because there's no chemistry for half these fucking characters. I'm not gonna lie about that. This movie, like I said, the writing's so bad that they tried their best to act it out, and the way they're acting, because they don't have a good sense of direction, there's just no chemistry between anybody. Even though there's a fucking couple in this movie, the acting just makes no sense. But I can't say the opening is the best part of the movie. And when I told that to my buddy Bidwell, I was like, dude, the opening was the best part. He was just like, are you fucking crazy? I said, no. I didn't say the movie was good now. I just said the opening was the best part. So I'm sorry. If you take a shit and there's only one good part of that shit, it's still the best part of the shit, but it's still a piece of shit, If that makes any fucking sense. But yeah, the opening is the best part of this movie. And the opening starts off with Dee Wallace and her lovely husband, Gary, are Ronnie and Mare. And they're basically recreating the entire, I don't know, like opening of the original Jeepers Creepers. They play a couple driving in the back end of Jacksonville, man, Louisiana. They're driving in the back roads of Louisiana, though. And while they're doing that, of course, they're talking about crappy, no station, no music on the station. They're goofing off. They look like a believable, real couple. And I have to give Dee Wallace credit. She actually acted her heart out. Like, I felt for her. I really did. She felt like a real fucking character, which is saying something about the rest of this movie. But while they're on the little road trip, of course, they do the whole license plate thing that they did in the original movie. And while they're driving, a fucking truck comes up behind them. Now, this truck is supposed to be the Jeepers Creepers truck. It's supposed to. But this is the most generic, basic-looking truck I have ever seen in my goddamn life. Like, I'm talking about, it looks like a red pickup truck with just a tarp over the back end to give the illusion of the Jeepers Creepers truck. And the fact that you can see the driver most of the time, it's really ridiculous. But this whole opening, I'm gonna spoil. Granted, guys, this whole movie is a spoiler territory. Like all of this, like y'all know me, I'm very much into the spoiler territory, and I don't mind spoiling the fuck out of this movie. But this whole opening is supposed to be like a recreation of the Jeepers Creepers, I guess mythos or whatever. Like I don't know, like Unsolved Mysteries. I forgot what the hell the show is called, but they're recreating it. So that's the whole point of this opening. But while they're driving and they're talking about it, the truck comes up, and of course he reads the license plates, and he's like, be beating you? You mean be eating you? What the hell? You know, oh, that's a fancy license plate. And of course, you know, Creeper does this thing where he honks the horn and tries to drive him off the road and shit. And of course, you know, the guy, you know, rolling down his window, hey man, just pass me, like, bro, I don't think, if he wanted to pass you, he would have passed you. Okay, he ain't trying to pass you, but okay, stick your head out there, let him yell at him, go around, like a fucking old man you are. Anyway, eventually the creeper passes them, goes on their merry way. Of course, they have a, oh my god, what the hell was that? Oh, I have no idea, you know, that kind of bullshit. And they keep driving on. Well, of course, as they're driving on, they pass him as he's throwing the body down the hole next to the abandoned church. And they're just like, oh my god, you know, what the hell did we just see? And then we pick up with him coming back at them, speeding up, of course, you know, doing this, honking the horn, you know, trying to drive them off the road yet again. It's like a weird, slow-moving, fast chase. Because you can tell they're going maybe about 40, 50 miles an hour. But Creeper's acting like he's doing about 80. So, slowest moving, fastest chase I've ever seen. Try to say that 5 times fast. But the point is, he gets them off the road. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I know this is supposed to be a recreation of a story, you know, based on like unsolved mysteries and shit, but I gotta understand the logic here. So, the creeper, or the recreation of the creeper gets them off the road, right? You would think if you were gonna, you know, go into hiding, change your license plates out and shit, you would drive several miles down the road, down into a back alleyway or some bullshit, you know, tuck your car into the trees so no one can see this shit. Not this recreation, no. I fucking wag my finger like fucking Jeepers Creepers did in this movie, just, don't do that. Now, this motherfucker is changing his license plate, like, not even, like, a few feet from where they ran off the road, because as they're coming back, because they decided that they want to go to the police about this whole situation, and as they're coming back to head towards the police station, of course, they look to the right, and there's the guy changing his fucking license plate on the side of the road in broad daylight, not even mere feet from them. Tell me how that makes any sense logically, but okay. So, they drive off, and of course, they're just like, we need to, you know, double check to see what was down there in that hole, to, you know, just to make sure that, you know, that we're not crazy when we go to the police. And of course, you know, Dee Wallace is, you know, grabs her husband's hand. It's just like, you know, honey, we got to do this, you know, no wrong. Something about doing the right thing. I forgot the exact line she used, but it was basically about doing the right thing. So they show up here, and this scene, I have to say, wasn't that bad until I started noticing something. As they're walking, you know, towards the back of the house, you know, it's very Louisiana-like, you know, the trees with, I can't think of the name of that plant anymore because it's been so long. But it's like a gray, like plant or something that grows off our trees. It's like moss, mold or something. I think it's moss, some type of moss. Not mold. I don't know why I said mold, but some type of moss that grows on the trees. I can't remember what it's called. But, you know, it feels very Louisiana-like, and it took me back for a minute. It took me back to my childhood, like, oh, I miss home so much. And then I started hearing the crows, and that's when I'm like, yeah, I really miss home, because for some strange reason in Louisiana, we had a lot of fucking crows. I'm not gonna lie, we had a lot of fucking crows. A lot of blue jays, too. Very few cardinals, but a lot of fucking crows. And I'm just like, okay, this is very, very much like home. And then I started looking around. I can hear those motherfucking crows. We can all, like, I even went back and, like, turned my volume up, like I'm the fucking changeling, like I'm listening to Joseph talk to me, you know, all over the fucking tape or some bullshit. But I rewind that. I can hear these crows. Don't see a motherfucking bird though. Just not a damn bird anywhere. I'm like, so let me get this straight. Y'all can't afford actual CGI crows? But I get it, they had to use that CGI for some other bullshit scenes. Anyway, Dee Wallace and her husband end up looking down to the hole, and they're like, oh my god, yeah, the bodies. And then, of course, we pan out, and it's the boyfriend, the couple, the main focus of the movie, watching Unsolved Mysteries on his fucking phone. And like I said, this is where we're introduced to the main couple. Their name, I'm going to be honest, their names are... Gotta scroll all the way to the page. Lainey and Chase. That's not what I call them at all. I called her confusing bitch and then that guy, the boyfriend. I just called him the boyfriend. Because none of these characters really stick out. Even though they all had names, none of them really stuck out to me. Like, none at all. Like, I literally call everybody as generic names as possible. You have boyfriend, girlfriend, Asian chick, hillbilly, producer, camera guy. That was literally what I named everybody because none of these characters really made the two lick of sense to me or I even cared about. Like, even the fucking voodoo lady. I was like, oh, voodoo lady. Oh, dominatrix lady. Weird preacher guy. Like, nobody had legitimate names to me, but their actual names are Chase and Lainey. But this couple... Like I said, none of the writing in this made it feel like an actual couple. But these guys really did not help the situation by making them look less like a couple. Like, there were some moments where they kind of felt like a couple, but it was mainly because they were holding hands, and that's about it. They were holding hands. I don't think they really even kissed in this movie. I think they maybe a peck on the forehead or some bullshit, but I don't think they actually ever had, like, a kiss on the lips. But the entire time, you know, they're just holding hands, and... You could tell they went with the opposite approach to this whole situation. What I mean by that is she's snarky, she's smart, you know, she's a fucking scientist. She even says that. This is why I believe in science, baby. You know, she's that type of generic brunette girl, the smart, quirky one who believes in everything that's realistic, believes what she sees, not what she hears, kind of bullshit. And he's the conspiracy fun guy who loves all things horror, creepy, wacky, and he's very optimistic about the occult and all this other bullshit. So again, the opposite attract scenario. They talk about the creeper though, and this is where we get kind of like our first meta joke about the original Jeepers Creepers. They talk about, what do they call it? The creepy creeper movies. I think that's what you call them, the creepy creeper movies. And he's like, yeah, there were 3 of them, but none of them are real. Basically kind of telling us at the audience, oh, the other 3 movies, yeah, not canon. Not fucking canon. Even though we all knew that, they just had to rub it in our faces. It's not canon whatsoever, guys. My bad. He makes a comment about how he doesn't mate, he only kills. And then, of course, they have the obvious joke because there's apparently a video of the creeper running around. And of course she's got to make a comment, oh, you know how it is, crappy staticky camera, they can never have an actual 4K ultra steady cam footage of any kind of creatures like Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster. None of it's real. Conspiracies make no sense. Your science can't disprove conspiracy. That's literally like an entire conversation they have. It's literally them arguing about conspiracy theories. But while they're chit-chatting about Jeepers Creepers and about the movies and all that shit, she ends up feeling a little bit sick, and she ends up just stopping the car mid-talk, mid-drive, just don't say shit, fucking gets out, runs off into the woods, which, by the way, is bad CGI grassy woods. Bad CGI grassy woods. But she gets there and throws up, and now here's something that didn't make any sense to me. Throughout the movie, there's this white crow with red eyes that we see periodically. And we see, I think, mainly a lot of times when the creeper is hanging around, he's got like his, like, I guess, oh god, what's like a flock of crows? That's the word I'm looking for. A flock of crows going around. But I didn't get the white one. Like, I really didn't get the white one. Like, the black one makes sense because the black crows have always been a symbolism of Jeepers Creepers himself. So I can get why they were bringing in the black crows. But I didn't get that white crow. I didn't get the white crow. But he shows up periodically throughout this whole movie for no fucking reason. But while she's puking and having her moment, we see the white crow hanging up there going, caca, caca, bitch, you know, doing his bullshit. And we also see one of Creeper's weapons that mainly I saw a lot more in the original Jeepers Creepers. I think it was the second one with the school bus. But, they really don't talk about it all that much. They go, oh, this is his weapon of choice. All right, great to know. Great to know. Why the fuck is it in this tree? We don't know. But they, like I said, the crow's up there, the fucking weird weapons up there. And this part right here, I don't know. Something about this whole scene, this next scene just drives me crazy. Like, I mean, pure fucking crazy. Let me explain. So let's go back to the original one and talk about the first time we actually see the creeper. Go back to the original. Take yourself back to 2001 real quick. The first time we legitimately see the creeper in this whole movie. He's in the shadows majority of the movie. It's not until, I think, about midway through the movie when they go to an old woman's house and they're banging on the door, you know, hey, call the police and shit. And it's that woman in the bathrobes and the bunny slippers, and she got the shotgun. She goes in her house, and then she comes back, but we just see a silhouette of her. And she's like, you know, kind of gasping for air. And then we slowly see that somebody's standing behind her. And then as, you know, we get closer to her, we see that the creeper's technically bringing her closer to the camera, and then we hear him walking. And it's not until she gets pushed, or basically she is used to push the screen door open, and she sits there, basically being choked out from the back end, and then we see like the creeper's face in full fucking glory. That is brilliant. That was a brilliant way to show this creature off, especially after spending majority of this movie all in shadows. And Jeepers Creepers Reborn, they take all that mysteriousness out the window. Like all that creepy shadowiness, yeah, gone, just thrown. Like they took and went, this is great. It's completely worthless, and threw it out the window. I agree, Batman, I agree. Jeepers Creepers, the original one, hands down, it's always been my favorite. Hands down, it's one of the creepiest horror movies I ever saw. And the creeper in that movie was just chef's kiss. But in Reborn, though, not chef kiss. Not chef kiss at all. When we see him the first time in Reborn, he looks like a fucking baby fetus. I'm not even joking. He literally comes out crawling on the ground from the abandoned church or whatever. And he's kind of like fleshy tone and naked, and he's skinny, and he looks like a rejected fetus, and he's just crawling. And he gets up to this, like, I don't know, like a pile of dirt and worms and stuff, and he grabs it, and he starts trying to eat it and everything. And once he does that, he ends up, like, ripping his face off and exposing his ugly mug. And I'm just like, is that really what they're going to do with my boy? Like, they spent all this time building him up through a fucking flashback, and this is how he's introduced. Like a fucking stupid-ass fetus. With the third movie, I can't really say what they were thinking. I really can't, because the third one just made no sense. But I'm gonna be honest, comparing the third one to this one, the third one looks like God's handwriting compared to this one. I'd rather watch the third one than watch this Reborn shit again. I've watched it twice for this review. And I regret every decision I've ever made up to that point. But with this one, I'm assuming, of course, they wanted to bring back the creeper himself, but kind of stay away from Victor and all his bullshit. So I'm assuming that was their idea, but they failed, and it failed hard and flat. Again, let's take back to first time we see the creeper. Let's take the original one to the new one. Does not compare whatsoever. But once we get like this weird thing of him ripping off his face and all this shit, Again, we see him go to this fucking scarecrow and take his clothes off. Oh, God. Like, I'm sorry, that hurts my feeling. That honestly hurts my feelings. That we had to get some kind of backstory to how he got his clothes. And it's this damn scarecrow. It's like, you went with the basic generic. Like, you couldn't even have him kill a guy to steal his clothes. No, we're just gonna rip it off of fucking scarecrows. I mean, since they even went that route of changing his entire motive and existing of his being of existence of just eating to replenish his body, and they made him into a generic slasher killer, they couldn't even give him a decent kill to get his clothes. No, we just stole it from a scarecrow. I agree. The second one, not as scary as the first one, but they at least try. And it had a good premise. The fact that you were isolated on the school bus, the kills were excellent, the gore was excellent on it. Why didn't they just do something like that? Why couldn't they just do something like that? Like, I wouldn't even mind a retread, to be honest. They could have done a complete fucking remake of this movie, and I think I would have been more satisfied than this fucking reboot. But once we get his fucking clothes, we go back to the girlfriend while she's puking. She gets a phone call from her BFF, which is one of the most completely useless characters I have ever seen in a movie. And I know some useless fucking characters. Like, I've seen characters be written to a movie and then, like, halfway through just get written out and completely forgotten. This guy doesn't even get that. He literally shows up for one scene, and it's literally to call her, "Hey, girl, you pregnant or something? Did you take that test? Oh, you did? Oh, you have it? Okay, yeah, girl. Well, don't throw up on those Air Forces now. Honey, do I joke about fashion?" And then walks up like, I shit you not. That's his entire dialogue while he's talking to her. He literally talks about her being pregnant, not throwing up on her shoes, and then that he's got to go take a piss. So he goes off to take his piss, and this is technically the first kill by the creeper. And you're thinking, okay, creeper. Do us good on this kills. Do us good. They can't even give us that, man. They can't even do that for us. They can't even give us a good kill. So he goes to pee, right? And as he's peeing, of course, we hear the fucking crows. And we actually see the crows all, on the trees and stuff. And then we see the creeper fly down. Like, he literally flies down behind him. But it's the most quietness. It's like, okay, let's go back to Jeepers Creepers 2, guys. You remember when he was flying on the school bus and stuff, and he would land, and it made, like, the thuddiest sound, and you could hear his wings flapping and shit, and it had some of the coolest sound effects ever? Yeah, no, throw that out the window. That's garbage. No, he literally lands behind them silently. Doesn't make a sound, doesn't make a move, and then suddenly he appears behind him, standing there, and he grabs him, and I shit you not, just eats his face like the Demogorgon. Like the Demogorgon from Stranger Things, just grabs it, eats his face. That makes no sense whatsoever. But apparently he made out with Sam, the gay guy, apparently that's his name, and killed him that way. Just made out with him to death. I'm gonna leave it like that. That's the first kill. At least sounds cooler than what it actually was on screen. Like, it was lame. It was super fucking lame. So as they're driving, of course, they're lost, and they decide to stop by this voodoo place to get directions and shit. And we spent an oddly long amount of time in this voodoo place. Like, they're just looking around, like, touching everything. And there's even a part where we see the boyfriend, he touches something, he pricks his finger, ow, oh, that hurts. And then we literally cut to the girlfriend standing in the middle of the shop, and then he just comes out of nowhere with like a pointy stick and jumps out to scare the camera. Like, the fuck? But yeah, oddly long for some stupid ass reason. The truck of the third one. Don't even get me started about the truck, man. Don't even get me started on the truck in the third movie. Like, I got my beef with the truck in this movie, but at least they somewhat made it look like the creeper's truck. Now, how they did it in this movie was fucking dirty, but it was better than the truck in the third movie. Like, that third one was like, what, an army tank? With booby traps and shit? Like, they went crazy on that movie. Like, they took crazy pills for that movie. But while they're goofing off in the shop and stuff, the voodoo lady comes out, goes, "Oh, is there something I can help y'all with?" "Yeah, we're looking for this direction." She gives them direction, hands them a map, and she touches the voodoo lady, and she gets this weird vision of like cult people all like doing their little cult thing, and it freaks her out, and she backs up, still holding the map, and then suddenly she goes, "Oh, that's $50. Oh, a fucking map. You bitch, you just told me the directions. All I gotta do is keep going down I-75 and make a left with the signs. Why do I need to pay $50 for a map? I don't know. Because it's antique? Those were her exact words. It's antique. Like, bitch. You just, bitch. And you think she'll be nicer because she's part of this cult. You think, she would be nicer. You got plot twist, everybody. She's part of the fucking cult that for some strange reason worships the creeper. I don't get it. I really don't get it. But they get the directions and they pay for the fucking map and they go off. And before they leave, of course, she makes a comment about, "Oh, congratulations." And they both look at her like, "What the fuck you mean congratulations?" "Oh, he don't know?" "Oh, you don't know too." And, she kind of smirks or whatever and they walk off. She calls somebody. And her exact words are, I wrote them down. "We have a tree bearing fruit. He will be pleased." A tree bearing fruit and he will be pleased. My thing is, none of this makes sense, by the way, guys. None of this. What they've done to the creeper in this movie makes no sense whatsoever. Like, at least in the original movies, he had motives. He had reasoning. Every 23 years, for 23 days, he came out and killed to replenish his body and then go to sleep. That was just his cycle. That was just the thing he did. This one, they make mention that the fact, 23 days and 23 years and all this shit, but for some stupid ass reason, they got this cult involved and this whole thing with, a baby and forever life. Like, it makes no sense. And they don't even go into any kind of detail or information about this movie. Or about this plot point in this movie. Like, it just... At least if you're going to write a movie and have it and make no sense, at least make some sense, if that makes any sense. Just make some sense of this crappy writing you have going on. Like, none of it makes sense. Like, not even the ending makes sense. I don't think we're ever going to get anything to do with Trisha, to be honest, man. Like, it pisses me off, too, because, they kind of set it up, especially in the second one, that they could bring back some of these characters to actually finally fight the creeper one-on-one and get rid of him. But no, we completely forgot she even existed after the first movie. I think they made a mention of her in the second movie, but yeah, no, we don't even get the... Then we got the third one. Let's not even talk about that third one, man. But after all this shit, we get to the hotel scene. Now, I got my own beef with this hotel scene. It's not even because of the fact that it's a sexy wardrobe thing. Like, I could give two shits less about that. It's generic Halloween costumes. Just put the word sexy and then insert whatever. That's your girl costume. The thing is the writing in this particular scene. Okay, so they go into the hotel room, right? They get in there. He goes, "Oh, shit, hang on, baby. I got a surprise for you. I'll be right back," and runs off. Of course, she sits down, she tries to call Sam. Sam doesn't pick up, and he comes back in, and he's got all the costumes. And he's just like, "Baby, I thought we could cosplay together. It could be just you and me. We're going to have so much fun." And she looks at him, and the coldest tone ever just goes, "Oh, I ain't wearing that." Just coldest tone ever. Of course, hurts his feelings. He's like, "Okay, whatever, it's fine." It's not like I wanted to actually dress up anyway. I just thought it was, a stupid idea. And eventually she breaks down, grabs the outfit. Then we have, of course, like I said, the wardrobe, showing off the sexy Harley Quinn, the sexy Freddy Krueger, the sexy Edward Scissorhands. I'm pretty sure it's the sexy Edward Scissorhands. I don't know exactly if she's supposed to be, but it's the only thing that makes sense, the sexy Edward Scissorhands. And then, of course, Jennifer Body's outfit, the prom dress. And that's the one she decides to wear for the rest of the movie. Don't argue with me on this. I know that's from Jennifer's Body. That is literally the prom dress I think Jennifer wore during the final scene? But after all that that shit. You know, she gets done. She goes, all right, got my outfit, baby. What about you? Oh, I'm just wearing this t-shirt. That's it? What am I going to do with you? Like, seriously, if you're going to have her have bitchy moments, maybe make the bitchy moments make sense. That moment right there would have been a good bitchy moment. You know, good, like, seriously, you maybe do all this shit and you're not even going to wear a costume. You, just any excuse to see me in something sexy, huh? You could have done like that. But no, you gave her a bitchy moment beforehand and then downplayed her, and then following scene. Like, it makes no fucking sense writing-wise. But, you know, again, I didn't write this fucking movie. I really wish I did. I probably could have done a better job. Hell, my 13-year-old sister could probably do a better job than this. And her favorite thing is fucking Five Nights at Freddy's. So the next scene is literally the next morning, and she's taking a piss on a pregnancy test. And, of course, she sees this weird circle with a dot in it, like a bullseye, on the pregnancy test. She's getting like weird visions of some of the cult doing the weird cultist things, and then she gets startled. And I don't mean just a simple startle. You know, you know, like when something hits the window and it scares you, you go, oh, you know, you jump, you scream. No. This bitch. She's very overdramatic. A bird hits the window, right? She starts screaming like somebody just stabbed her. Which is saying something, because later in the movie, she actually gets stabbed, and there she screams like a fucking toddler. Directions. Just give them directions, director. To direct them to act better. Sorry. The acting, like everything about this movie just pisses me off. This movie's hot fucking garbage. So, you know, once we get done with this dramatic scream and all this shit, they get ready, and I guess they're getting ready to go to the fucking party. We cut to the Jeepers Creepers undoing his van and actually seeing the truck. We actually see the truck in this movie, and I like this truck compared to the openings truck, which is supposed to be the recreation of the original movie. This truck looks like Jeepers Creepers' truck from the outside. The inside, not so much. The inside's very bare bones when it comes to weapon choices. I'm not gonna lie, I was very disappointed when he opened that truck up and there was like 2 weapons in there. I was just like, honey, did you like downgrade? Did you have to downsize your living space or something? Like, what the hell happened here? Like, seriously. In my opinion, Halloween Ends was probably better. Fuck yeah, Halloween Ends was better than this shit. I can name 12 movies that I haven't seen. I got a movie that was better. Dash Cam was better than this. And I hate that movie. I refuse to review that movie, but I'd rather watch Dash Cam and spend the last 20 minutes watching this woman freestyle rap over credits for no fucking reason than have to sit down and watch this movie ever again. And that's saying something, because Dash Cam was a bad movie. But we get to see the truck, and it looks really good. And I can appreciate they at least try to make the truck look good. And I like that. But once they get down to, I guess, him getting all his weapons stuff, we cut back to them going to the carnival. Now, like I said, guys, this movie was filmed during quarantine. So this particular scene, I'm going to be honest, looks really, really bare. And what I mean by that is, you look around at the amount of people at this supposed big-ass rave. My graduating class in high school was bigger than this party. I'm not even gonna lie. We had like 200 students. Yeah, I've had house parties that had more people show up than this fucking carnival. But again, filming there in quarantine, so they only have so many people together at the time. And it shows. It really shows, especially with some of the costume choices. You see a lot of repeat costumes. Like I think, 3 girls all wearing the same Skippy Fairy outfit? All in different colors, though. All in different colors, but all wearing the same Skippy Fairy outfit. Several people dressed like clowns. I think I saw maybe 5 unique costumes. 2 of them were from Beetlejuice. One of them, I think, was Jigsaw. I think one of them was just some, like, it honestly looked like Rob Zombie. He looked like Rob Zombie. There was, I will say, a Michael Myers mask in this movie. You can see it for all of 5 seconds, but it's during the cosplay contest near the end when you see the woman getting her throat slit, air quotes around that shit. If you look at the guy doing the throat slitting, he's wearing a Michael Myers mask. I thought it was kind of cool, to be perfectly honest. But like I said, you could tell not a lot of people at this carnival, and it really shows, especially with the little protest that's going on. And this protest makes no fucking sense either. Like, I can understand if, there was some kind of like weird, I don't know, some justifications of a protest, Oh, I don't like scary horror stuff. I hate to say it, this is Jacksonville, Louisiana, man. We don't care. We're the voodoo capital of the world. We don't care. We're not gonna protest. Again, guys, I'm from Louisiana. Granted, I live in Georgia now, but I still take that fucking personal. That they're gonna act like we Louisiana people give a fuck and we're gonna protest. Like, no, bro, we don't. We don't. We love horror. We support horror. We're Louisiana folks, for fuck's sakes. But yeah, they have a little protest, and it's like 6 people protesting this horrible carnival of horrors. Just why? Just why? So, when they get into the carnival, of course, there's got to be this one guy who's got to welcome everybody to the carnival. So they do the whole fake death scenario where someone comes out acting like they've been stabbed. Oh my god! The fakest shit in the world. It looks fucking fake, but everybody else is acting like it's real as hell. Like, oh my god, he's been stabbed. Quick, call the paramedics. And paramedics actually do show up. And of course, he stands up. Aha, I got you guys. Oh yeah, welcome to... I don't even know what he said. I want to say he said horror hell, but I swear to God, it sounded like he said horror hell or some bullshit like that. Like, I don't know exactly what he said, but I don't think it was the actual name of the carnival. I wouldn't be surprised either they misspelled or miswrote or misspoke the actual name of the carnival. I wouldn't be too terribly surprised. But, he, does a little shtick, and he's all proud of himself, and of course, boyfriend's like, oh, he got you good, and she's all like, whatever, she doesn't really flip him off, but still, though. Hell, I hated Halloween 5. I'm with you on that. Like, Halloween 5 was not that great. I'd rather watch Halloween 6. And Halloween 6 is my least favorite out of the bunch. I'd rather watch Halloween 6 than I'd rather watch this movie again. God damn, we could have a list going of movies we'd rather watch than Jeepers Creepers Reborn. But after the whole fake death guy, he's all like fist bumping his buddies. Now, this is something I don't get. Not only does the guy's motivation makes no sense, but again, this shows you that Jeepers Creepers is now just killing to be killing. Okay. So they say that this horror carnival is supposed to be the Coachella. Oh fuck, what's that fucking concert called? Coachella? I think that's what it's called, Coachella. I don't know. But basically, it's supposed to be a rave, a party, people doing drugs, drinking, all this shit. They even make points about arguing about this at a later scene as they're walking through the carnival. So tell me this, if this carnival is supposed to have all this drugs and drinking and shit, why did this guy go off into the middle of the woods to go smoke a blunt? Don't worry, I'll wait. Like, what's your motivation there? You don't want to share your blunt? Go walking. Like, seriously, like, go fuck. Why are you going to go in the woods to smoke? No, we're going to go in the woods to smoke. And this is how you can tell that Jeepers Creepers set this shit up. When he gets to the tree to smoke, if you look up, there's a hook already placed there, which means the creeper knew some dumbass at some point in this carnival, because he's there at the carnival at this point after he got done unloading his truck. He was planning on somebody to actually show up at this tree randomly so he could just stab him with the hook. And again, this is a lame death. But he grabs the guy, I guess chokes him out a little bit, throws him on a hook, right? The guy's screaming, agonizing pain, all this bullshit, and then Creeper walks 5 steps to the right, takes out his weapons, the little throwing daggers, throws, I think, 2 or 3 of them, and then walks the fuck off. Like, a dead serious guy, he goes, and then walks the fuck off. I'm like, did he really just, like, an excessive grunt like he was happy? Like, he literally did a happy grunt. Like, he was proud of himself. Like, seriously, who the fuck wrote that in? But that's not the only mannerisms I dislike. Like I said, that just makes no sense that he would plot this kind of murder. Like, he plot this kind of murder, but my thing is, why? Was he really expecting somebody to actually show the fuck up? And what are the odds some pothead decides to fucking do it? But again, another lame death, just another lame fucking death. So we cut back to the couple, and they're talking about, you know, just so much booze and all the LSD and the drugs of these places, and it makes her uncomfortable, and these places are stupid. And she's basically dogging this whole carnival. She's just like, this place fucking sucks. And I shit you not, like a 5-year-old, she's talking to him, right? The boyfriend, she's talking to the boyfriend. And he looks up with gleam in his eyes and just goes, sharp things, and then runs the fuck off towards a throwing dagger carnival game. Y'all can't see it if y'all are listening on the podcast, but my face is very confused because who the fuck said that was okay? Like, seriously, like a 5-year-old with a shiny new toy in his face, just sharp things. Like, you couldn't make him sound more adult? Like, you couldn't be like, oh, baby, look. Watch what I can fucking do. You know, some bullshit like that. No, make him sound like a fucking goofy 5-year-old. Just bad writing yet again, guys. So, you know, she gets a drink. They go to this throwing dagger mini game, and as I like to call him, the hillbilly, but his name is Stu, shows up, and they, you know, play the game. And of course, boyfriend sucks, misses every shot. He tries, but misses every shot. She gets fascinated by the weapons, and of course, it's Jeepers Creepers weapons. And he proceeds to tell them, oh yeah, we made those for the creeper, just like his weapons. Oh, you fascinated by them? And while she's looking at it, of course, she cuts her finger. Yeah, and looking at the cut, it ain't that bad. Like, it looks like a little paper cut. Actually, it looks less than a paper cut. I've had paper cuts bleed more than what her finger was. But, you know, she bled a little bit. And, of course, she has this weird fucking vision of the cult again. Some naked woman standing there and with the little bullseye and shit. And she freaks out. And he's just like, oh, my God, baby, come on, let's go. You know, by the way, there was a little Boy Scout moment where he was trying to clean up her wound. And he brought out a fucking emergency kit. Like, I shit you not. I don't know where he's keeping this at, by the way. I'm assuming his pockets are much deeper than they look like. He looks like he's just wearing a pair of, Levi jeans or something. But he might have deeper pockets. I don't know. Guys' pockets are magical things. Like, y'all actually have pockets. We women get the shit out of that stick, and we get no pockets. Fuck women's clothing. But he pulls out the little med kit, tries to, you know, clean up her hand and shit while she's having the vision. And once they get done with that, they go to walk away, and of course, Hillbilly Stu over there, you know, closes up and walks off. And while they're walking off, Jeepers Creeper comes up and they're trying to keep this man in shadows for some strange reason. Don't ask me why. And he grabs the weapon, and we hear him throw it. And of course, she turns around, nobody's there, but we see that he landed it, of course, inside the dummy. And for some strange-ass reason, this thing is now dripping with blood. I'm talking about, it's like someone put an open gash hand wound on this weapon, and it's just dripping with blood. It has nothing to do with her little paper cut she got. No. Do I take video suggestions? As long as it's horror-related, yes, I take video suggestions. I'm all about the horror on the Scream Stream. But once we get done with, you know, the whole bullshit, something I forgot to mention during the conversation with Stu, they talk about the creeper draw where there's supposed to be this escape room, and, you know, whoever wins gets to show up, and he tells them about it. So they go off and, you know, I guess go enjoy the rest of the carnival, because we come back to them, I think, about like 20 minutes after the whole situation, like right before the draw, basically. Like, for some reason, they hang around this carnival, and then we come back to them when they're about to draw. We miss some of the cool costumes, which really sucks. But again, there's only like 5 cool costumes during this entire carnival. Alright, I'll take a look at the suggestion at the end of this. But once we get done with the cosplay thing, the cosplay contest, and we see some of the cool costumes, and again, they make a joke about the sexy Jason. Like, it's not even Jason. It doesn't even look like Jason, but they call him the sexy Jason. But while they're doing the whole costume, cosplay, whatever bullshit, we basically see the voodoo woman come in from the back. She's got the bucket with the numbers and stuff. We see her swap it out for some strange reason. Come back up. The little Asian chick who's part of the TV crew, for some reason they get her involved. And she comes up there and they talk about, the creeper escape room, bring out Madame Carnage, which I have to say, the chick who plays Carnage, she's having a great time throughout this whole movie. I'm not gonna lie, she's having a great time throughout this entire fucking movie. Like, she gives it all. Like, as soon as she comes up on that stage, she is screaming like, woo! Like that fucking penguin meme that we've all seen. Just, woo! Super excited. It's fucking hilarious. But she gives it her all. 10%, 110%. But of course, they go over the bullshit about, this exclusive surprise and all this shit. You gotta survive the night, though. And of course, they make the drawing, and well, you know it, our fucking couple of the day wins the drawing mysteriously, because she doesn't win anything. She even states that. I don't win anything, ever. But they won. They win, of course. And they come back, and of course, there's a TV producer back there. Now, here's the thing that irks me. They said it's a escape room for 2, right? For 2. But yet they're going to have an entire camera crew follow them around. Kind of negates the escape room for 2 thing, and you might as well just say escape room for 2 and an entire camera crew. Just saying. But they win. Of course, they go through the whole, writing everything down. We see the creepy cult being creepy cult people. And they go out, meet up with Hillbilly Stu. And of course, Hillbilly Stu, she don't like him for some strange reason. This is, again, where the bad writing comes in at. So she and the boyfriend met Stu earlier, during the knife throwing contest. And he was very nice to her. Very fucking nice to her. Like, he was teaching her how to throw the daggers, like legitimately. Like, he's like, draw your line, step back, throw it, use your arm, turn 90 degrees. Like, he was literally going in and teaching her how to throw these daggers properly. And it was a really nice moment. Like, the guy didn't have to be that nice. And he wasn't even creepy about it either. Like, that was the shocker factor, is that he wasn't creepy about it. Like, he wasn't, like, touching all over her and smelling, like, her hair and shit. Like, he was being legitimately nice. And she's got the fucking balls to say this shit about him. They go to the vehicle, right? And there's Stu standing there, being cool Stu. And she goes, we're not really going to ride with him, with that creepy hillbilly, right? Like, that's how people die, by rednecks. Like, bitch, he gave you the best Southern hospitality I've ever seen from a man in a horror movie. And you're going to assault him like that? Fuck you. Fuck you. Just fuck you, man. Like, that ticked me the fuck off. I get bad writing, but why? Just why? Like, what did he do? What did he do? He was a nice guy. He was nice. What the fuck did he do to deserve that kind of comment? But they get in anyway, and they're driving. And of course, she's now not speaking to her boyfriend because she's so pissed at him for some fucked up reason, which is never really explained. And then, she's ignoring him this entire time. And, Asian girl is Connie, and the camera guy are looking at this camera feed that for some reason, I don't know where he recorded this at. Like, seriously, I don't know where he had this camera set up at or how he recorded this, but apparently he recorded the creeper running through the woods. And, boyfriend gets all excited because he's a big fan of the creeper, and he's like, oh, let me look at the footage, and they're looking at it, and he's like, oh, is this 4K? Yeah, awesome! Like, see, baby, I told you, but they caught this shit in 4K. He's real. Still ignoring him, right? Still ignoring him. So they get out of the vehicle, and once they get to the close to the house, and they all get out. And of course, Hillbilly Stu's got to stand there and give like this amazing speech about how haunted the grounds are and how dangerous everything is. And you know, girlfriend's being a fucking cunt in the back and not saying shit to anybody. So boyfriend is being all giddy because he's happy he's here. He's happy that you know, he's here at this creeper's house. And so is this little Asian girl, you know, Connie. And so they're having like a cute little moment together. They really are. They're like, oh my god, you know, so cute. You know, just they're having like a bromance going on, a quick little bromance, right? Like there's no flirtation whatsoever. And I watched this scene, like I said, twice. I watched this movie twice, and I analyzed this scene because it bothered me this fucking much that she would go this bitch mode on him. But there was no flirtation. There was no hints of, you know, being that kind of guy who's trying to hit on someone. He's literally being a nerd. He's being a nerd about Jeepers Creepers. And why, you know, this is happening, of course, the producer and the camera guy, they get into an argument, and he makes a little joke to her going, man, I wouldn't want to be those two, you know, just joking around. The girlfriend gets pissed, right? She gets pissy. And walks the fuck off. So, of course, boyfriend goes after her, and we have the worst CGI. From this point on in the movie, the CGI green screen, it's just bad. It's just fucking bad. So, they run off one direction. Asian girl, and I want to say it's the producer, stay near Stu, and the camera guy runs off because he's got no Wi-Fi. I forgot to talk about this scene because it's a scene I want to block out my head because it makes no sense, but I wrote it down and I even skipped over it because I don't like this scene, but I got to talk about the scene. We're going to talk about why camera guy's following this person around. So, after they left to go to the fucking escape room, for some strange reason, Creeper decided to get into his vehicle, right? He gets into his vehicle. He cranks that bitch up and he drives, doing about 60, maybe 70 miles an hour. Runs into the Wi-Fi tower for no reason. No reason whatsoever. Just runs into the tower, right? Runs into it. Knocks it down. They made him walk away from a slow-mo explosion. They made my homeboy, Jeepers Creeper, walk away from a fucking explosion like he's in a goddamn action movie, like he's walking towards Jason Statham or something. Like, oh my god. Not only did they do that bullshit, but the fact that they destroyed the vehicle, the truck, the iconic truck. Even though it's not the iconic truck, but it looks like the iconic truck. It looks better than that truck from the opening, like I said. But they make him hit this Wi-Fi tower, do the explosion, and that's the last time we see the truck. We only see the truck twice. And you're telling me we spent that 2 times with the truck just to look at it for all of 5 seconds in one scene and then blow it up in the next scene. Like, again, guys, it just hurts my feelings. It really does. Like, they did him dirty. And they're not even done doing him dirty. Like, this is just the top of the shit cake. This is just the top of the shit cake. Wait till we actually get to the house. They do him even worse. So, once, like I said, once they get to the house and everybody separates and shit, the camera guy goes off because he's following a cult member in a fucking robe, by the way. Don't ask me why, but he is, and he's just like, hey, do you have a charger I can borrow? Do you have something I can tether my camera on? And he's just following this bitch. He ain't saying shit, but yet this man is still following him. Or following her, I should say. And yet again, guys, bad CGI screen, better graphics have been seen on PS2. Better graphics have been seen on the Xbox, the original Xbox. It's just bad CGI. And then we get to another lame-ass death. So, he follows her all the way to this crib, doesn't go in it, and I can't even remember. I just watched this movie like 2 hours ago, and I can't even remember exactly what happened. But basically, he gets pulled up by the creeper from top of the mausoleum, and we just see blood trickle on down top of the camera, and that's it. That's literally the death of the camera guy. Like, you gonna do him that dirty that we can't even give the man some cool deaths. Like, we can't even give him some cool body counts here. No. Everything's gotta happen off screen like it's Black Christmas 2019. I swear to God, this movie is bad. So, after, all that bullshit, we then got back to the couple walking in the bad CGI cemetery, and she, for some reason, like I said, she's going bitch mode. She's going completely crazy. And she is saying that her boyfriend is seeing the Asian chick. He's like, she's just, what the fuck am I trying to say? She's just like, oh my God, you're totally flirting with her. Like, how could you do that? Like, seriously, where is she getting this information from? Like, what is she doing? What is this information she is gathering that she thinks her boyfriend is flirting with the Asian chick? Like, I want to know. I want to know. And I analyzed that fucking scene 12 times. In my brain, at least. I analyzed it 12 times, and I just don't fucking get it. I just don't get where she even had the galls to come up with the fact that he's flirting with the Asian chick. I don't know. I really don't know. But why, they're having this conversation. He brings up the point, oh, you're jealous. You're just clearly jealous. And she smirks about it. Like, no, I'm not. Like, no, bitch, you are. You fucking are. Just admit it. It's okay, honey. It's okay. Admit it, FBI. But he decides to take this opportunity moment to propose to her, which we found out, I forgot to mention this earlier, but while she's going up and puking and shit, we have a moment where he's on the phone with his mother and he's voice texting her. Not even just texting her, voice texting her that he's going to propose to Lanny at the end of the night. He decides to take this moment right now in the middle of this crappy CGI, blue screen, green screen, whatever the fuck you want to call it, screen, cemetery, in the middle of the night and propose to her. Well, that don't go very well. Because as soon as he sits down, not sits down, but kneels down, got the ring in his hand, and he's just like, baby, fucking creeper comes out of nowhere, it's like, yeet! I'm gonna yeet this bitch. Takes off with her. He's just standing there dumbfounded, screaming her name, and I'm just thinking, all right, creeper, You go do you do you, boo-boo. You go in there, you take her, you kill her, you take what you want. You got this, man, you got this. I felt good about this, I felt good. Maybe this would be a nice, maybe dramatic death. We've had a bunch of lame deaths up to this point. Maybe a nice dramatic death would be what this movie needs. And that's what I was hoping for the first time I watched this. No. Anyway, after that bullshit, they find the cameraman's body, and his body's fucking lame as shit. I could enjoy some off-screen deaths as long as the body reveal after that is pretty badass. As long as the prosthetics look good, as long as the death looks fucking badass, I don't care. You can have your off-screen deaths. I'm not gonna be too picky about that shit. But if you have an off-screen death and it's lame, and it's also a lame body reveal or no body reveal at all, it's just lame. It's just super fucking lame. And that's all this body reveal was, which is super fucking lame. Because the fucking boyfriend comes out screaming her name, just like, oh my God, he took her, we gotta get to the house. And as he's running, he trips over this body. And of course, his cameraman body, and everybody freaks out. Oh my God, he's dead. What do we do? Oh, we gotta run to the house. So they all run into the house and try to lock everything up. And then we cut to the girlfriend, because she got been kidnapped by the creeper, right? She's tied up very loosely, by the way, if I might add this, very loosely, to a table. And the creeper's just walking around her. And straight up just takes a knife, stabs her a little bit where the baby would be at, and then we cut back to them at the house. I don't get why we have these, these weird cuts where certain scenes I feel like shouldn't have been cut back and forth. There's literally a part later on in the movie where we're with the girlfriend, then we cut literally for 5 seconds to everybody in the house going, where's the Asian chick? And then we cut back to the girlfriend. It makes no fucking sense editing choice-wise. But, we cut back to them at the house, and they start arguing about the situation, going, this is your haunted house. You did this escape room. Just let us the fuck out, man. You scared us. Let us out. Where's the girlfriend? And they all start basically blaming the fucking hillbilly guy. Like, they really start blaming him for some strange ass reason. Like, he's just as confused as the rest of them. But what makes it even worse is that, you know, once they're locked inside, of course the cult members are out there and locks them in there, and then they proceed to say out loud, they're all yours now, come and get them, and then walk the fuck off like they've done some badass shit. But while they're arguing with the hillbilly guy and, you know, they're demanding answers that he can't give them, he pulls out a gun and he shoots it, which, I'm going to be honest, I was watching a review about this and the guy makes a good point. If you pay attention to the gun, when he goes to shoot it, you actually hear it fire off before you actually see it fire off. And I'm just like, that was just bad editing all the way around, but how can you fuck up that badly, though, where you desync a gun, basically? You desync the gun. Well, I can't really say that because we've seen the bad CGI of this movie. Bad CGI. Anyway, so after he pulls out the gun, he fires it. We then cut back to the girlfriend. After Jeepers Creeper has done stabbed her, I shit you not, he proceeds to jump up on top of her, jump up and out of the hole. He stands above the hole, by the way, and his wings come out, and the crows are all around him, and he does his little roar kappa roar thing, I'm going to say. And that entire scene is just CGI. I'm not even joking. Like, I can tell that whole scene was CGI. Like, they can say that's a person standing in the middle. No, that whole thing was CGI. Like, the moment we saw the creeper in the cemetery with the green screen, that was a person standing in front of a green screen, bad CGI. The scene where he's standing there with his wings open and the crows around him, that's all CGI. That has to be all CGI because it is bad. It's fucking bad. But we see that scene, and of course he takes the hell off, and then we cut back to the fucking house again, where they're all yelling at Hillbilly Stu for firing off the gun. And of course we get some of the most basic, like, kind of insult punchlines, if that makes any sense. It's basically, you know, the boyfriend wants to go find his girlfriend, so he's like, I'm going to go find her, and Hillbilly Stu's just like, no, we're all going to stay here, and fucking movie producer comes up and goes, oh, we cutting into your incest horse fucking time or some bullshit about him being a country hick. And of course Hillbilly Stu's gotta be over there like, okay, fucking Hollywood, let's go. He pulls out his gun again, and then of course boyfriend's gotta step in. Hey guys, calm down, you know, let's all just follow my girlfriend, get the fuck out of here. So they all agree for all of 5 seconds to look for the girlfriend, because as soon as they you know, have this agreement and they go downstairs, the fucking door starts banging and shit, and it scares them right back upstairs. Like, they didn't really get that far. They literally came downstairs, saw a door banging, went nope, and went right back upstairs. Which, I'm going to add this as well, guys. For some strange reason in this movie, they do a lot of up and down the stairs. Like, I'm not even joking. They literally go upstairs for one room, then come back downstairs, and then go back up the stairs, and then come back downstairs. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's like a Scooby-Doo chase scene, almost. But they run up the stairs, and they head all the way to the fucking attic. They don't just go up to the norm, you know, second story. No, they go all the way up to the attic, and as soon as they get up there, they go to turn on the lights. And as they're looking for the light switch, the Asian girl is standing there like, oh my god, the roof is leaking. And they're just like, well, it's not raining, so... And as soon as they turn the lights on, you see this massive little pile of blood in her hand. She starts screaming. They look up. And there's Sam, the gay BFF, who we saw for all of 5 seconds earlier in the movie, just hanging there with his face fucked up. Not even good fucked up either, just regular fucked up. Like, we can't even see what the hell is going on, kind of fucked up. And why they are all like, oh my god, Stu has the best line in the whole situation. He just looks up and goes, what the shit is that? Like, bro, you took the words right out of my mouth. I'm gonna be honest, guys, Stu has to be my favorite character out of the bunch. Hillbilly Stu, love him. Out of everybody, because he's the most funniest one. He said the one of the only 2 lines that made me chuckle throughout this whole movie. Like, there's 2 lines that made this, you got a little chuckle out of me, and he said one of them. So, after they see the fucking Sam's body, for some stupid ass reason, Jeepers Creepers gets on the roof, right? He gets on the roof, comes crashing through the window like he's in a fucking action movie. I'm not even joking, like a fucking action movie star, right? I'm sorry if y'all see the movie, I know why I'm laughing. So he comes to the window, and of course Hillbilly Stu pulls up his gun. He's about to shoot him, and I shit you not, I don't know what they did to my boy here, but I shit you not, he sticks his hand out with his finger, and he wags at him like, no, don't do that. Just no. Like, why? Just fucking why? They made him wag his finger at them like they're toddlers. Oh. But of course, Hillbilly Stu tries to shoot him. And of course, gets a couple of shots into him, and he stops, and he gets like shot in the hand. That fucking hurts. So for some reason, he throws his axe, which I don't know where he was keeping this axe, by the way. I have no clue. I didn't see it on his back. And it's like he just pulled it out of nowhere, like he's a fucking like Resident Evil 4 or some bullshit. Just whoop, here's my shotgun, here's my pistol. He's doing that shit, but he pulls out his fucking axe and he throws it against the door for some stupid ass reason. I guess to lock them in there. And then he proceeds to blow a whistle, and he makes a whistle sound that's very high pitch. Don't ask me why they did a high-pitched whistle, but they gave him a high-pitched whistle, and oh my god. It's annoying. It's not even scary, it's just annoying. It's fucking annoying, and it drives me crazy. So, after the whistle, and everyone's collecting their thoughts and shit, the boyfriend, of course, looks up, and he's like, oh my god. You're real, like finally, like he's been in denial this entire time about the existence, when he's the only one that believes in the existence of this fucking creature for some strange ass reason. He's the one that says it. The rest of the group tried to get the door open by taking off the fucking axe out of the door, and for some stupid ass reason, the boyfriend runs up to the creeper and starts hitting him with a piece of plywood, a metal pole or something he picked up, and he starts whacking him, and the creeper just stands there and lets him do it, but doesn't even flinch. Like, for no fucking reason. And of course, he's screaming, where is she? Where the fuck is she? And then eventually, they get the door open, so they gotta grab him, and they're pulling him away from the creeper, who still is just standing there looking at his hand. Like, he is so flabbergasted about his hand, like, holy shit, my dude. My hand's got a hole in it. So they pulled him away, and of course, the creeper just gets mad about his hand, so he rips his arm off, goes down to the ground, grabs Sam's body, rips his arm off, and proceeds to eat him and regenerate his body parts like he's done in the first two movies, right? And I'm going to say this, guys. I'm going to be 100% honest. I hated this. I did. Because they did the most laziest tactic ever when it came to transformation scenes. Let's go back to one of my favorite moments when he transformed his body. Jeepers Creepers 2. The scene where he decapitates the student and eats his head, or basically rips his head off and puts the student's head on, and then it becomes his face. That was a cool transformation scene, because you got the whole thing in the bag, kind of like, what's the name of that dinosaur? The fucking Dilophosaurus or whatever, the ones that spit. You got that hanging out in the bag. You see him literally rip his own head off, and then he puts another one on that comes through from underneath. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, it was a crazy transformation scene. Loved it, though. Fucking as a kid, that shit made me piss my pants. I'm not even joking. When I was a kid, about like 8, 9 years old when the first movie came out. So about 10, about roughly 10 or 11 when the second movie came out. And that shit scared me. When he fucking literally just took off his own head and then had another one. Like, it was fucking crazy. And this one? Nah, lazy fucking tactic. We hear him eat it, right? We hear him eat it. And then the camera angle cuts up, and then suddenly we just see his arm come out of nowhere. That is just lazy editing. I'm sorry, like, I get it. They're probably on a budget, they probably didn't have time, but you spent all this fucking money on CGI grass, but you couldn't spend any on the designing of this creature or even the transformation scenes? Like, you spent your money poorly. Just fucking piss poorly, my dude. Like, it was just bad decision making all the way around. And we all suffer for it, by the way. We all suffer for it. So, once we see that bullshit and it comes back, we then cut back to the girlfriend again, and I swear to God, she's the most dramatic bitch I've ever seen. So she's still tied up on the table, she's screaming, just, doing that shit. As she's cutting free, I'm like, okay, I can get the struggles, I can get the screaming. But she doesn't stop. And she starts screaming like a toddler throwing a tantrum when she proceeds to start moving. Like, she gets up off the table, she's like, grabbing her side because she's been stabbed there. And then she moves a table, and she proceeds to scream even more, like, doing that shit like she's fucking bench pressing 250 pounds. For no fucking reason. Just for no fucking reason. But before she leaves, and before she moves the table, though, she finds the throwing daggers. She sticks them in her underwear, and she, puts her dress to the side, and she goes out through the window. And while she is escaping and shit, we then cut back to, again, this is where that weird moment I was talking about earlier, where we cut back to the Asian girl going, where the hell is she? That was that moment right there. For some reason, we had like a weird 5-second clip of them going, where the fuck is she? So then we cut back to Carrie, the Asian girl, and we see her run to a room, and of course, she closed the door, she's hiding against the wall, she's texting for help, but of course there's no service. And of course, per usual shenanigan happens, he busts through the wall, grabs her by the hair, fucking rips some of her hair out, sniffs it like a pervert. She takes the hell off, he doesn't even try to stop her. I don't get that, but okay, apparently he just likes sniffing hair. So, once, she runs off down there, and she's like, oh my God, he chased me away, there's no way out of there. We then get to the worst part of this movie. The worst part, a lot of things in this movie have offended me. I'm not even gonna lie. A lot of things in this movie have pissed me off and annoyed me and make me want to set fire to everybody who worked on this movie. But this is the moment. This moment right here is the moment I realized I hated this movie with a roaring fucking passion. And it's the stupidest reason. It's the stupidest reason. So, we all know the theme song to Jeepers Creepers. We all know it. The beautiful Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Yeah, we all know that shit. It's iconic. It's love. It's like a 1930s love song to the most iconic horror person, which, by the way, guys, was written in 1938 for another movie. Very wonderful, though. Very fucking wonderful, though. But I hate this fucking song they use in this movie. I hate it with a roaring fucking passion. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I don't know what or who or why they wrote this song, but it is so stupid and it sounds so horrid, it makes me want to rip my own goddamn ears out. And I know that's saying a lot about a fucking song in a movie, but they played this song like 5 fucking times, and it's horrible. It's like they were making fun of 1930s, 1940s music when they rewrote this song. It's like they're making fun of the 40s music and of the song itself. And it pisses me off because music sets a scene, especially music in movies. And if you got a good theme song, don't fuck with it. And they fucked with it. They fucked with it, and they murdered it, and they fucking marinated it, and bullshit, and just threw it down the fucking toilet, and they took a shit on it even more, and they took a more of a bigger piss on it, and they flushed it with a big-ass hairy bucket of vomit. I don't know. It just fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. It pisses me off every time it comes on, too. But that was the moment right then and there I knew I hated this fucking movie. Like, how could you do this to my fucking boy? And then fuck up the song. Oh, God, I even have it in big, bold letters all circled and shit. Just, I hate the song. I did. I hated the fucking song. But, for some fucked up reason, while they're listening to, why the creeper's playing the song, fucking Lori, whatever the fuck the girlfriend's name is, comes crashing for some stupid ass reason through the ceiling. I don't know how or why, but she comes crashing through the ceiling. Even though she was underground originally, but, you know, directions. Time to crash through the ceiling. And, why, you know, they're figuring out, oh, where you been at? You know, we gotta go, all this bullshit. And she keeps saying, he wants me, none of y'all are safe, he wants me. They decided to go back upstairs again. And they run upstairs, and for once, I was proven wrong. They run to a room, right? There is a phone, an old classic phone on this stool in the corner of the room. And I was for sure that they were going to try to pick it up and, you know, it's going to be dead tone. No, I was proven wrong. They run into this room. First of all, the producer steps in the bear trap, and they had to help him out. Second of all, the boyfriend runs right past the producer in the bear trap to pick up the phone and actually dial 911. And it goes through. It actually goes through the phone. I'm just like, holy shit, it actually worked. But they go through, and of course, you know, in typical horror movie fashion, he calls 911. They think he's on drugs. Because he's like, oh, we're at the old creeper's house. Sir, are you on drugs? Do I sound like a tweaker? Do I sound like a fucking tweaker? But once, you know, they had the phone call, of course, you know, the creeper grabs the phone from the other side of the wall, rips it out. They once again run back downstairs, get all the way down there. And this is where the second line that made me chuckle came in at. While they're downstairs contemplating what to do and shit, they're like, we can't leave outside, let's hunker down here. While they're trying to figure this shit out, the Asian chick looks at everybody and goes, 911's coming. They just can't ignore 911 call, right? And without missing a beat, the fucking hillbilly stew looks at her and goes, oh, my sweet summer child. I died laughing right there, because he ain't wrong. In Louisiana, only in certain situations, anytime a 911 call is placed and they think drugs are involved, most of the time the police aren't coming very quickly. They'll take their time, because they don't want to get shot by a tweaker. They really don't. But while they're fucking have that moment, we basically hear the creeper come busting on in through another door. And for some strange reason, the Asian chick stands there in the middle of the room while he's busting down the door, right? And this is the part that makes me sick about how they did my boy dirty. He busts the door, right? He busts the door. And I shit you not. He waves. He fucking breaks the wood down. He stands there looking at the Asian chick through the door. And he waves at her. He fucking waves at her like, hi, how you doing? Yeah, he fucking waves at her. I'm just like, I had to pause the movie and ask myself out loud, did he really just fucking wave? Did he really just fucking wave? And he did. He fucking waved. He fucking waved at her. And that's when I lost all respect for this movie. Granted, it wasn't that much respect to begin with, but still. Just the wave, man. They fucked his mannerism up. So, like, they tried to give him a stupid personality. And it didn't work. It's not the creeper, man. It's not the fucking creeper. It will never be the fucking creeper. It's just, they did him so dirty. They did him so dirty. I hate that they try to make him a generic slasher. Not even a cool generic slasher killer. Just a generic slasher killer. With no motives, no motivation, no cool kills, no cool weapons. Like, I hate to say it, we barely see any fucking cool ass weapons being used. Like, yeah, he's got his fucking big ass axe that we only get to see him use twice. Once out on a door and once on this Asian bitch. Let me explain that. So, once he busts through the door and he fucking waves at her, you know, she is so astonished by his stupidity herself, she ends up falling down and standing there for a minute while he busts through the rest of the door. So as she gets up and tries to grab somebody's hand, the fucking axe comes out of nowhere, hits her in the back of the head, fucking kills her ass. And of course they run back upstairs. Well, while they head back upstairs, they find the altar room, the cult room or whatever. And that's when we have the strange vision, the naked woman again with the little bullseye on her head and the fucking coal all rubbing on her tummy. And Jeepy Creeper comes walking in and she's just like, oh my god, they're feeding him, you know, or some bullshit like that. And while she's having her moment, of course, the guys are all looking at the door, you know, oh, what's going on in there? And the fucking creeper looks at them through the hole in the wall, kind of like a nod to the poster of the first movie, and then does a stupid-ass whistle thing again, which makes you want to jump to the door and punch him in the face. But once he does his stupid-ass whistle thing again, they see him take the Asian girl's body and go upstairs with her, down the hall, or go somewhere with her body, and he plays the fucking song again while he's eating her brains, which, by the way, is horrible. The scene is horrible here. While he's eating her brains, right? That crappy song's playing in the background, and we're looking at the most generic, fake-ass brain I have ever seen in a horror movie. Like, generic, like, you think, like, draw a picture of a brain, that's what it looked like. That's what it looked like, a fucking generic drawing of her brain. Not even cool. And you see him trying to eat it, but if you look, not even carefully, you just look at him, he's not eating, he's doing that fake eating shit, you know, the shit you would do when your mom's looking at you and you're eating your fucking peas instead of throwing it over your shoulder, you're pretending to eat it. That's what he was doing. It was rather fucking obvious. Like, they couldn't even get, like, a Jello mold or something for him to eat. Like, they really couldn't even do that? Like, you couldn't afford a Jello mode of a brain? Like, seriously, bro? But they do that bullshit. And the fucking fake eating of the brain. And then we come to my favorite line of the entire movie. The favorite line from the entire movie, because this would be me right here. This would be me. So they're in their kitchen, they're trying to get everything situated and taken care of, and while they are taking care of the producer, because remember, he's set in that bear trap, so his leg's fucked up, and they're trying to clean him up, the boyfriend's digging around his little Boy Scout bag, and he's just like, I would give my left arm, and when I'm missing a beat, the producer looks at him and goes, careful, you might. Yeah, I instantly regret saying that. That's it. That's literally the line. That's the line. That's the line that got the chuckle out of me. Out of all the lines in this entire fucking movie, that's the line that in dead silence you hear me. That's it. That's all you heard from me. Just as I'm watching this movie, all you hear is. I don't know why that line gets me, but that line fucking gets me. But yeah, I think it's that I instantly regret saying that, because that would be something I would say. Like, as soon as I'm like, man, I would give my left fucking arm. What? Never mind, man. Never mind. I like my left arm. My left arm's great. But of course, he makes jokes. Sorry, man. It's just nerves. And then, while they're trying to figure that out, blood starts leaking from the ceiling of the room, and it lands on the altar, and they realize it flows down. So they open up the vault of the basement. And of course, there's nothing but a bunch of dead bodies down there. And that's when they find out, oh, this cult's feeding it. For some fucked up reason they're feeding it. They never really dove or explain it. But they make a plan. They're like, okay, we gotta kill this thing. So we're gonna kill this thing. So the plan is, the two guys are gonna go upstairs and bring the creeper downstairs, while the girl stands there and lets the creeper come to her. And then they're gonna go upstairs and then kill him that way. Well, the two guys go upstairs, and of course they hear the fucking song playing, but luckily it's over, so all we're hearing is the white noise of the vinyl. Thank God. And while they're upstairs, they open the door, right? And I guess they try to be cool about this, the creeper hiding up in the corner and shit, like he's doing some like magician's trick. But you can see that motherfucker for like a mile away. Like, the dude, you see his jacket. You see his fucking jacket. Just standing there. Fucking door closes, Jeepers Creepers comes down, of course, swings in the mist, everyone's just fighting, they're trying their best, Stu's getting his ass kicked, movie producer's getting his ass kicked, fucking movie producer goes, I got him, goes to hit them, and I don't know what the hell the creeper had, but he threw something like a pole or some bullshit, and straight up killed the man, just right off the bat, and we cut to Stu, right? And you think Stu might have a moment of clarity, maybe a moment of, oh my god, no, whatever the fuck his name was, just one of those moments. You would think this, no, shit, he dead. No fucks given. No fucks given whatsoever. He just continues to get his ass kicked by the fucking creeper. And then this motherfucker, while he's kicking his ass, decides to play the stupid ass song again, driving me fucking nuts as I'm watching this damn movie. And then the most beautiful thing happened. The most beautiful scene. This scene, it got a standing ovation from me. I'm sorry, guys. But I had to pause the movie, stand up, clap, and cheer a little bit because this was the best moment. Not the best scene, because the best scene, of course, was the opening. The best moment was while they're fighting, right? Hillbilly Stu and fucking Creeper going at it. Boom, boom, boom. Fucking boxer like it's Creed number 4 at this point. Fucking Hillbilly Stu grabs the record player while it's playing that shitty fucking song. And then proceeds to smash it over the fucking creeper's head, breaks the record player, the record, goes, come on, asshole, runs the fuck off, right? Runs the fuck off. Fucking creeper stands up, looks down at the broken record player record, and just gets mad. I'm talking about like he goes, that kind of like he's angry growl. It's fucking hilarious. Now that scene, like I said, standing ovation, guys. They destroyed that fucking song. I love you, Hillbilly Stu. You're the best character ever, and that is why you destroyed that goddamn record player, and I love you, man. I wish you would have survived in the end. Which he had a stupid death, and I'll get to that in a minute. So, of course, Creeper mad as fuck about his record, comes storming down the stairs, sees the girl just standing there, and she's not saying anything, but she's slowly backing out, very seductive and sexual, and the Creeper's slowly walking up, and then the guys quickly run upstairs, and they go all the way to the roof, and you see her get down on her knees. And of course, while she's on her knees, she puts this knife down that she picked up, and she opens up her belly, and she's like rubbing all over it, like the fucking cultists and shit. And the Creeper, growls, and he grabs her by the throat, and he picks her up, and the entire time he's picking her up, and he's choking her out a little bit. The guys are upstairs, trying to pull this like antenna off the fucking roof for some stupid ass reason. And while they pull up the thing, she's having these weird visions of the cultists going, the baby, it's yours, take it, live forever, all this shit. And then she screams out, you can't have it. But I'm going to be honest, the way I just said it was so much better than the way she said it. Like, even though I'm not even trying to act it out, I said it better than she did. But she basically says, you can't have it, stabs him in the ear with the weapon, and then of course, he drops her. And then we have the most stupidest line in the entire fucking movie. I'm talking about out of every single fucking line. Out of every stupid fucking line in this entire movie. This line is the most stupidest fucking line ever. Like, in any movie quotes I've ever fucking heard. Like this, like we all thought Welcome to My Nightmare, bitch, was bad. It's funny, but bad. At least I can laugh at that one. This one, no. She stabs him, right? She falls to the ground. The guys are still trying to pull that fucking bullshit off the roof. She grabs the weapons and proceeds to throw them at the Creeper. And of course, getting him in both his eyes conveniently, because she is now a fucking crack shot when it comes to shooting. He pulls him out, and of course, his eyeballs are on the edge of the fucking blade. She looks him dead in his face. How do you like them peepers, bitch? Who the fuck wrote that line? Who the fuck wrote that line and okayed it? Please, lean in. Seriously, lean in. Whoever wrote that line, your mom's a hoe. Simple as that. Simple as that. Your mom's a hoe. Anyway, we have that fucked up moment. And of course, Creeper comes out there. He's blind as shit. So he's like, trying to grab her like he's fucking Frankenstein over here. He can't find her. They get the stupid thing off the roof, right? And then we had the most CGI throw I've ever seen, where they throw the fucking weapon down, but because it's CGI, it's got this weird curve as they throw it, and it's very fast, so it's very noticeable that it's bad CGI. And it lands, of course, lands in the face, and it's in his mouth, like it's from the second movie or the third movie, whichever movie ended with the fucking thing to the face. I think it was the second movie. And he's like standing there and he's gasping and doing that shit. And then fucking crows just come out of nowhere. And they're swarming around, they're swarming her, they're swarming the guys, and Hillbilly Stew and the fucking boyfriend are going back and forth. And Hillbilly Stew falls off the roof, right? Now, looking at that roof where it looked like he fell at, he should have been fine. Like, I jumped off my roof before several times. Hell, my own brother jumped off with a fucking umbrella trying to fly like Mary Poppins once. We didn't even break a bone. But you tell me this man died? Like, he literally hit the ground. Dead. That was it. He fell off the roof. Hit the ground. Dead. That's how you do my homeboys, Hillbilly Stew? That's what you do to Hillbilly Stew. Hillbilly Stew got gypped, man. Hillbilly Stew got gypped. But anyway, so they, the fucking crows are everywhere, and they end up going inside, and they're hugging each other, they're like, oh my god, some bullshit. And of course the crows swarm, Creeper's body, and then disappear. They just disappear. And as they disappear, they fucking walk out the house, and walk towards the bad CGI cops on the bad CGI screen, away from the bad CGI house. And, they get there and put cops there, because, of course, cops are always late. They're never on time. They're never early. They're always fucking late in horror movies. But as they're there, they get into the cop car, and she looks up at the camera, and she's looking out the window, and we just see her eyes just go black. Just black. It's never explained. There's no reasoning behind it. It's just black eyes. Like, fucking black eyes. And then we cut to the fucking crows again. We see that one little white crow, but we cut to the crows, and they're all surrounding the body of the creeper, and the creeper just looks up and growls at the camera, and that's it. That's the fucking movie. That's the fucking movie. That's the ending of this fucking movie. That makes no goddamn sense, motherfucker. That makes no fucking sense. But that's just me. That's honestly just me. And I know a lot of people who have watched this movie and go, this movie makes no fucking sense. It wasn't made for me. It wasn't made for you. It wasn't made for anybody. I'm sorry. They tried to reboot. They failed to reboot. It's terrible. What they did to my homeboy Creeper is terrible. Rumor had it this was supposed to be a part one of a 3-part trilogy of this reboot, but I don't see that happening. I don't. This movie has so many bad reviews, so many negative reviews, and they're not even like, like purposely bad. Like, they're pointing out everything that's actually wrong with this movie, because this movie just fucking sucks. As a generic horror slasher, it fucking sucks. As a Jeepers Creeper movie, it fucking sucks. It's just a bad fucking movie. And I get where they were coming from. They were trying to reboot it, because Jeepers Creeper is supposed to be scary. He's supposed to be scary. He's a very terrifying creature. We don't know where he came from. We don't know why he's here. We just know every 23 years, for 23 days, he eats. He hunts, and he eats people with lots of good fear. But in this movie, I don't know this motherfucker. If I was to show a Jeepers Creepers movie, or if I was never to see a Jeepers Creepers movie, and someone showed me this movie right here, I would not be a fan of Jeepers Creepers. I'd be like, this movie sucks, this character sucks, good day, sir, and walk the fuck off, because it does. He's not an intimidating monster. He doesn't even change his facial expression all that much. He literally has 2 expressions, sniffing and growling. That's it. Just, that's it. Like, he doesn't do anything else. He does nothing else. And it's aggravating, because he is such a classic horror icon from the early 2000s. And this is how he's treated. I can't be all that surprised though. I mean, look how they treated fucking Freddy, Michael, and fucking Jason. We got bad reboots, prequels, what the fuck they want to call that Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 movie. Now, the remake of Friday the 13th wasn't that bad. I actually liked that one. That one was actually pretty good with Jared it's Jared Padalecki on that one. This actor was in the My Bloody Valentine one. But, yeah, that one wasn't bad. And then the Halloween trilogy, I have my own thing. We've had those discussions before, guys. If y'all are interested in my thoughts and theories on the Halloween movies, please check out me and Bidwell's Halloween Ends. I think we did that podcast back in October when it came out. So yeah, check out my October podcast. It's there. We talk about the trilogy overall. I have love mixed relationship with it. I'll explain it probably in October. I want to go back and watch it again and talk about the original trilogy or just the movie in general. I don't know exactly how I want to talk about it, but I do want to go back and re-talk about it and see if my opinions changed about the movie since it's been about a year at this point. But yeah, Jeepers Creepers Reborn, 0 out of 0. Would not recommend this as a vacation spot. It's stupid. It's lame. I think I'd rather sit down and watch Pooh Bear, Blood and Honey. I think I'd rather watch that. I think I'd rather fucking watch that. And I heard that movie's fucking stupid. Now, one movie I heard that's not that stupid, but has a stupid fucking premise that I actually want to watch because I can't believe they put this much money into a fucking CGI bear, Cocaine Bear. I actually want to watch that and talk about that movie. Because I found out that it's actually based on an actual event that happened here in Georgia in the 80s. Like, I'm being dead serious. Apparently, there was a plane that threw out cocaine all over the place, and a bear did get into it. Now, he didn't go on some murder crazy rampage, but apparently he did eat the fucking cocaine and did some weird ass shit. Did not know that. But that is a story for another day. I feel like this probably be a good time to go ahead and end the podcast here. I hope everybody who has watched, is watching, will watch. I hope you enjoy. I hope everybody has a fantastic and wonderful night. And if you're watching this on whatever audio device you're listening to this to on, please give this video a like, subscribe, and follow, because you never know what fuck shit's going to happen. Trust me, I never know. I didn't realize I was going to be reviewing this movie this day till Monday. Till my buddy people was just like, hey, suffer with me, my friends. Suffer with me. Next week, I'll probably be talking about a actually good little indie horror film that I actually love, that's funny as hell, and got some pretty good silly scares to it. Would probably be Bad Candy. Don't confuse it with Hard Candy now, but Bad Candy, really good movie, really fun. I actually can't wait to dive into that one. I gotta make sure it's still on Hulu. Last I checked it was, but that is a story for another day. So until then, my friends, y'all take care.